Don't forget that idea. And then I'd go somewhere slightly different. So
with as much as I talk up the rogue curls, I thought it was high time that I show y'all how I actually use them and do a full-on like at-home blowout that lasts me usually about a week. The first thing I do is brush my hair out really well. And I take my jewelry off and I hop in the shower. In the shower, I use the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner, but I precede that, my first shampoo, with the Davines Solu, and then once out of the shower, I do K18. Now, I've learned through trial and error that what works best for me when it comes to K18 is like 2 pumps at a time, and I work it really well through the hair. I have a ton of hair, so it takes me a few minutes to do this, and then I put it up in one of those towel turbans. I do some self-care, usually a face mask, an LED mask, tanning, whatever. This time I did the True Botanicals Resurfacing Moisture Mask. I did my homeoplasmine lip balm, and then I lay down, hang out with my puppies, and read a book for a while. K18 takes at least 4 minutes to kick in, so I give it plenty of time. But once I'm up, I work my heat activated products through. I start with that Color Wow Dream Coat spray. It's like anti-humidity, and I live on the surface of the sun. I live in Texas, and it's summertime. Once I work that through, then I go in with the Kerastherapy smoothing cream, and I work this through as best I can. I have super coarse hair and a ton of it, and then I add even more with extensions. From there, I do a rough blow dry just to kind of get the excess wetness out. So my hair will actually start to take shape when I blow it dry. And then I focus on my cowlicks. So I have a ton of cowlicks, and they're predominantly in the crown region of my head. So I start with my bangs and then the whole crown and just start working a round brush through it. I will link everything I use in the show notes below, so just check that out if you want to know what brush or whatever product I was using. I can tell you I've spent a ton of time, money, and effort trying to find stuff that works for me, and this is probably the happiest I've ever been with tool and product combos. But you can tell I spend a lot of time making sure that my bang shape and that the crown of my hair is done first. So I probably have 6 or 7 different cowlicks. It's pretty ridiculous. So it's really worth that time investment for me, because otherwise my blowout just won't last as long, and I'm gonna have to at least wash my crown by day 3 or 4. Once that's done though, and I can start working on the length of my hair, you'll notice I am pulling the brush through with a lot of tension, and I'm keeping the nozzle aimed in the same way the whole time. That helps me avoid additional texture because my hair is so coarse naturally, and I can dread real quick. So I work a brush through it, I finger comb through it. My number 1 goal is to make sure it's dry, and 2 is to make sure it doesn't have any tangles in it. So even with everything I do, it still takes me at least 20 minutes to blow dry all my hair, and that's actually really worth it when you think about it. It used to be an hour before the days of the Dyson and all the stuff. From there though, I do this Gisou honey hair oil. My hair, again, coarse texture, a lot of it. So it needs a ton of moisture. So I work this through, and you'll see I kind of twist and push it through. That's because I'm gonna put the rope curls in, and I find this really helps kind of establish a baseline texture for the curl to take to. And then from there, it's time for robe curls. So I tried the best I could to show you exactly how I do this. I put the base, the actual band, at the very back of my crown. For me, this is for cowlicks, but you'll see I really try to get the whole crown over the band and then smooth it out. From there, I take a big front piece. This is how the top of your hair will lay. So just kind of think through that when you're putting it in. And then I wrap a back piece around it. Another piece of advice I could give you is to really make sure, especially if you have texture in your hair, like you're not fine, make sure that you're pulling the whole piece of hair through, because otherwise you'll get tangly, you'll get snarls, your curls will look weird, there's all kinds of problems that'll happen. So I always kind of take the time to really make sure that I get the whole piece through and smooth, and then I push the curls, you can tell like the part that I've already wrapped, I push that up. And what that does is it tightens the curl, and my hair's so long I need that in case it falls a little bit throughout the course of the day, but it also buys me some space on this band. Another tip, do not curl your hair the entire way down. Leave the ends out. Otherwise, those ends will get real kinky and look real weird and you'll hate it. So just leave them out and it looks much more natural. Then we wrap it around, do like a little milkmaid style, and this helps you go to sleep. I sleep in this almost every night and we're good to go. This is the next day, obviously. This is after I did a workout and got ready and everything. My bangs were a mess. So I also had forgotten to put the Kerotherapy through my bangs, so I just did a twofer. But I worked that through and then I re-blow my bangs out. I do that any day of the week, basically, because if you've got bangs, you know, you have to do them every day. Otherwise, it just looks weird. But I work my round brush through and I focus, you can see like the ends, the sides of my bangs, I pull down and out, but I pull low because that helps with the transition into the length of my hair. And then the center of my bang, I just try to get it as even and smooth as possible. It tends to always have a little bit of a shift because I've got a cowlick in the very front of my head, but I do the best I can. And then I start untying the rogue curl. You can also tell what I mean right there when I say don't curl the very ends in. It just looks so much smoother when you don't do that. And then from there, I start the zhuzhing process. When you do a heatless curl, what you save in terms of like heat damage, you definitely spend in the effort to fuse the two halves together. So normally I don't put the dry texture spray in on day one, but we had a lot going on, so I wanted my hair to be like really done. And that typically costs me a little bit in longevity. But my current go-to product blend is always the Orbe Dry Texture Spray, the R&Co Flexible Hairspray, and the R&Co Balloon Volume Spray. The key difference between the volume spray and the dry texture spray is volume just gives you some air into the hair. The texture spray gives you that really bedheady kind of tousled look that I love, but you'll definitely feel a difference between the two of them if you use them. You'll get way more time with the balloon, I find, than the dry texture spray. And it's easier to reapply. Just a little PSA. From there, it's just a combination of combing and zhuzhing and making sure it looks the way I want it to look. And then I'm pretty much good to go. And that lasts me about a week. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see y'all very soon. Thanks for watching.